What's up, guys? It's time for another list. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite video games. In the past I've talked about movies, books, and TV shows, so it only makes sense now for me to talk about my favorite video games. Now, just like my previous lists, these are by no means reviews. I might give a couple details on it that sound like reviews, but mainly this is just me sharing to you what my personal favorites are, why, maybe sharing some memories on them. It's just kind of loosely talking about them. And it's a lot of just reminiscing for me in this one too. After making the list, I realized that. So let's just jump into it. Number 10 is SSX Tricky. Now this is a huge throwback. This is the first game that I have a lot of memories of. I had a GameCube. It was the first console I ever had. I had a bunch of different games on it, like I had Call of Duty, Finest Hour, Big Red 1, SSX Tricky, 18 Wheelers, Super Mario Sunshine, which if any of you remember that is a massively underrated and amazing Mario game. But SSX Tricky was the one that I spent hundreds of hours on probably. I played Simon. I played every single map until I got it down perfectly to where I could do it in record time. Nobody could ever beat me. I was amazing at the tricks and everything like the back of my hand. And I was just a young kid at the time, and gaming wasn't at the forefront of society as it is now. And I wasn't naturally good at it like kids tend to be naturally good at things now because they're just born into video games. I tried to play like SSX3 and SSX, but none of them had the same feel of this game, which was just so weird and out of control and just so blatant about the fact that none of this was realistic. Like some of the moves, people would jump up and do like 8 backflips and spin the board around their neck. They'd grind on rails that were hundreds of feet in the air. There was a map where all of it was just air vents that blew you into the air and tubes that you'd go down. It was just nuts, and it had an amazing soundtrack, and it was nothing but like a fun trip to play. So that's number 10. Number 9 is City Skylines. Now, as you've seen me talk about before in my review / rant of how fucking awful Jurassic World Evolution was, I love resource management games. There's nothing that's more resource management than managing an entire city, building it up from the ground, having to manage the economy, population, taxes, policies, everything. This game is, I'd say, an improvement on SimCity, which as a series ultimately failed. It peaked at SimCity 3000 a long time ago, and City Skylines just picked up where it left off and improved on the series. Number 8 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, I have played all the Grand Theft Autos since Grand Theft Auto 3. I haven't played the first Grand Theft Auto or the second Grand Theft Auto, I believe, where it's like a top-down look on a friend's PlayStation 1 when I was very, very young. San Andreas, although maybe not the best Grand Theft Auto, I'd say that goes to 5, is the one that holds a special place in my memory. 3, I played a lot when I was far too young at my father's house, and I have a lot of good memories of that, but Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was the first one that I was actually allowed to play, and people knew that I was playing, my parents knew that I was playing it. It had such an amazing story, and the thing that I really like about Grand Theft Auto 5 is that you can actually go to Grove Street, which is where the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas' like home base was, because you played a gang centered around Grove Street. And probably the most interesting part of the game, and I wish they would put this into different games like other Grand Theft Autos, is at one point in the game you can actually have like gang wars, to where the map turns like, I think it was like green and purple and yellow and red, and you have to get into gang fights to take over the territory. It's all very bad, it's all very horrible and violent, but it's Grand Theft Auto. What do you expect? And San Andreas did it best. It was the first one that took the leap into more customization and massive world. And come on, you ever go to the top of that mountain and just fly down on a motorcycle? It was the best. I could probably navigate around that city right now if you put a PS2 in front of me. Number 7 is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now this was a difficult one because I'm a huge fan of all the Assassin's Creed up until the recent ones when they really switched up the game into like more of an RPG. I haven't even played those. I played all of the ones up to that, and it was between this one and Assassin's Creed 3. And the reason I chose Black Flag, while a lot of people say it's not a real Assassin's Creed because you're not even playing somebody who is like a legit assassin, they just stole the outfit or whatever, is not because it's the best Assassin's Creed game. It is a good Assassin's Creed game, but it is the best pirate game ever made. The map in this game is just insane, or at least insane for the time and how I remember it. And I don't think I ever played much of the story. I just got a pirate ship and then I never left the water. I would sail around, I'd find other pirate ships, I'd board them, I'd steal their stuff, I'd sink them, move onto an island, get buried treasure. There have been other pirate games. There's games that are specifically just pirate games out now. And none of them have ever come close to being what Assassin's Creed Black Flag is. So that's why that has this spot here out of all the Assassin's Creed. Because I knew an Assassin's Creed would be at this spot. It was a debate internally onto which one. Number 6 is Hitman. Now I am going to go with the first Hitman game. Not the very first one ever made, but the one that's named Hitman before this one currently, which is named Hitman 2. It's complicated. I really wish games and movies would stop naming them after like the first one, because it just gets complicated when you talk about it. But I am talking about the rebooted first Hitman game. And all of the Hitmans are absolutely great. Hitman Blood Money is when I really got into the series. I like to get into a map and just do the map 50 different ways, figure out the fastest way I could do it without getting spotted. I remember there was one map where you had to kill a guy that was like doing a play, and I was able to do that map in like 12 seconds by hiding a sniper rifle, going up there sniping him, hiding it again and running out before anybody could even have time to look for me. But anyway, the reason Hitman is up there is because I also played Hitman Absolution. That one really went away from the game it's supposed to be. It stops being an open map, started being more of a campaign where you need to get from point A to point B. Hitman brought it back to its roots of just being a big, wide open map, and it just, the game telling you, go nuts, do it however you want. I've sunk so many hours into every single map, just figuring out exactly where knives are, scissors are, the conversations are of these characters, the timings of, okay, so I need to go from this area to here in exactly 3 seconds, otherwise this person's going to turn around. And it is a very in-depth game when it comes to that. And I chose Hitman because of that. It's also a beautiful game. Like the detail in every single level is just astounding. The detail that they put into everything. Number 5 is World of Warcraft. And I am not a huge World of Warcraft person. In fact, I haven't played World of Warcraft since I was in high school, I think. Maybe it was college. Yeah, I stopped playing in college. I stopped playing around Cataclysm. And I only started playing around Burning Crusade, but the memories that I have attached to World of Warcraft, some of the best friends I have ever had and still have got me into World of Warcraft. And I would play with them all the time. And I was rather, a nerdy high schooler, didn't have a whole lot of friends. But when I played with these people who were friends in real life, it didn't matter. I was an amazing tank. I played a prop pally, and I really felt like I belonged at the time. And I know life is different now. When you look back at high school, when you're an adult with a family, you think, wow, that's all that stuff was silly. But at the time, it really meant a lot to me. And it's a fun game. It really sets the standard for MMORPGs. Nothing will ever touch it. I remember Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic came out and all of us decided to give that a shot. And it was fun for like a week. And then we all just went back to World of Warcraft. Number 4 is Call of Duty Black Ops. Not 2 or 3, or I think they got a 4th now. The very first Call of Duty Black Ops. I had it on the PS3, and I was really insanely good at this game. I was so goddamn good at this game that years and years ago I actually had a YouTube channel when Black Ops first came out where I would take every single gun in the game, no attachments, no nothing, and I would do a 30-0 game or better, and I would put that on YouTube with a commentary. It was around the time of like Sea Nanners and X-Jaws and White Boy 7th Street and stuff like that. I really wish I would have kept that channel. Looking back there, it was really good. I mean, the graphics was shit because I had like a $100 capture card off of eBay, but I was so good at that game. And I've never been that good at any game since. So it's gotta go up there. Number 3 is UFC 3. Now, this is kind of a strange game to have up here, and it's a very strange game to have sunk as much time in as I have. It's on Game Pass on Xbox, and I seem to just keep re-downloading the thing when I think I'm done. I've played through the career mode to become the GOAT, the greatest of all time UFC fighter, probably 30 times. I can play the game online and beat the hell out of everybody. I think the best part about this game and why I keep going back to it is the simplicity of it, but how it really feels like a lot of skill is needed into playing this. You can't just button mash. You need to get down the timings. You need to know what your moves are. You need to know what counters are. And I'm a huge fan of career modes. And anymore in sports games, they don't have career modes like they used to. Madden used to be at the forefront of this, but anymore it sucks because they just have like that storyline. The UFC 3 has a great career mode and a great character customization. And I love customizing characters. I love career modes. And what a great way to take out your anger after a long day at work. Somebody's pissing you off at work, just make a character that looks like him, beat the fuck out of him, right? Like blowing people up in Sims. Number 2 is Starcraft II. And this one is very similar to World of Warcraft. They overlapped a lot, and I was really big into World of Warcraft and Starcraft around the same time, but Starcraft II was a much larger obsession of mine, and a much larger obsession to all of my friends at the time. At one point, I actually, looking back, I dropped out of high school for a year when I was 16 and attempted to make it pro in Starcraft. I wanted to be on Team Liquid or Evil Geniuses or something like that, playing alongside Hydra or Machine or Naniwa. Day 9, God. The memories. I would watch every single MLG tournament with my friends. We would hook up the computer to the big screen TV in the living room and we would watch it. We went to MLG Columbus and met all of these people. To this day, day 9 is a huge inspiration and idol of mine. It was a crazy, crazy time in my life when pretty much my life revolved around StarCraft II. I don't play it anymore. I stopped playing when the first expansion came out after Wings of Liberty, and StarCraft II kind of fell off the map, stopped being in the limelight of the pro scene. But it was one of the most amazing times in my life, really devoting everything to this game. And looking back now, I kind of sucked at the game. I really, like, everybody was better than me at it. I could barely get out of gold. And number 1 is Dev Tycoon. I've talked a lot about this game, and it's a mobile game. It wasn't originally a mobile game. It's made by Green Heart Games, which is a small indie company that makes games. They also made Coffee Shop Tycoon, which doesn't really live up to this one. But I started playing it because of Jacksepticeye. Shout out. He needs my support, you know? What a struggling young channel. Really got to throw my support behind the little guys, you know? But I started playing it because of him, and that was years ago. It was like 3 years ago. They eventually released it on my phone. I still play this thing couple times a week just to try and beat my scores. It is such a simple yet skilled game to just lose yourself into. But yeah, that's my list. Those are my top 10 games. If you'd like a list of anything else, please comment below, let me know. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos.